August, Micron Technology, the perennial third-place player in the memory market, raised its quarterly revenue forecast by $500 million, citing improved pricing and surging AI demand. This development defies decades of industry logic. A recent Morningstar analysis confirms Micron has historically earned no economic moat, operating in a brutal, commodity-like business defined by vicious cycles of oversupply that crater pricing. So how can the number 3 player suddenly exhibit pricing power? The answer is that the AI revolution has inverted the economic rules of the memory industry. The catalyst is a specialized technology, high-bandwidth memory. The company that mastered it first was SK Hynix, which is now projected to dethrone Samsung as the DRAM market leader in 2025. And Micron's revised forecast is the definitive proof of this structural shift, evidence that the market is now so supply-constrained that even the third-place player can command high margins. To understand this industry-wide reordering, we will deconstruct the 5 key chapters of this story: Micron's unexpected guidance, the commodity game it broke, the HBM revolution and its new leader, the market-wide pricing power that followed, and the geopolitical forces now accelerating this new reality. The first concrete signal of this market reordering came not just in revenue, but in profitability. Micron formally revised its financial outlook, boosting its adjusted gross margin guidance to 44.5%. To put that number in perspective, just 2 years earlier, during the depths of the last downturn, Micron's gross margin was -9%. The new gross margin figure represents a return to peak cycle profitability. This margin expansion was fueled by a $500 million increase in its revenue forecast, now expected to reach $11.2 billion at the midpoint. In its statement, the company was explicit about the driver behind these numbers, attributing the revision to improved pricing, particularly in DRAM. This was reinforced by Chief Business Officer Sumit Sadana, who stated that pricing trends have been robust and we have had great success in being able to push that pricing up. This development raises a critical question. In an industry historically defined by price erosion, how is the number 3 player suddenly demonstrating significant pricing power? The answer lies not within Micron alone, but in a fundamental reordering of the entire memory market. Deconstructing these industrial power structures and identifying the hidden vulnerabilities exposed by breaking news is the core of our analysis in the ARPU newsletter. If you want to understand not just what happened, but why it's happening, the link is at the top of the description. Micron's sudden display of pricing power is so remarkable because it directly contradicts the established wisdom of the memory market. This is captured in a recent Morningstar analysis. Despite acknowledging Micron's rapidly expanding AI and HBM opportunity, the research firm maintains its long-held conclusion: Micron doesn't earn a moat. Their analysis describes a highly cyclical industry, producing chips that are largely commodity-like and fungible. For decades, this has meant that memory suppliers are prone to the market's supply and demand dynamics. Periods of strong demand are invariably followed by periods of oversupply that crater pricing and firm profitability. The financial impact of these cycles is severe. The margin chart clearly illustrates this brutal reality, with profitability swinging from over 50% at the peak of a cycle to negative territory during a downturn. Within this structure, Micron historically has been the third-place player. According to the established rules of the commodity game, a player in this position should have the least pricing power. And yet, the market is now being confronted by a new, disruptive force that is challenging this entire model. That disruptive force is high bandwidth memory, or HBM, a specialized architecture demanded by the immense data requirements of artificial intelligence. As S&P Global notes, its significantly faster data transfer speeds make it a crucial component for AI workloads. But HBM did more than just increase speed. It broke the commodity model. Unlike standardized DRAM, HBM is a deeply integrated system, co-designed with the AI architects. The company that first mastered this new game was not the incumbent leader Samsung, but its smaller rival SK Hynix. Data from S&P Global projects that SK Hynix will dethrone Samsung as the DRAM market leader in 2025, a shift driven almost entirely by its dominance in HBM. By 2025, HBM is forecast to become a massive $20.7 billion business for SK Hynix, making up 42% of its DRAM revenue. This created a new, high-margin, supply-constrained market at the very top of the industry. A market so powerful, its economic shockwave would lift even its number 3 player. This profound supply-demand imbalance is precisely what is reflected in Micron's revised forecast. The demand for high-bandwidth memory from AI architects is now so intense, and its complex manufacturing process so supply-constrained that the market can no longer function like a commodity. As one analyst noted, this has created a, quote, fundamental shift where historically memory chip makers had to accept thinner margins. This market inversion is what allows Micron's chief business officer to state that the company has, quote, great success in being able to push that pricing up. They are no longer a price taker, the market scarcity has made them a price setter. And the most definitive proof is in the financial results. A company that Morningstar defines as having, quote, no moat, is now delivering peak cycle profitability, not because it has become the market leader, but because the very nature of the market has changed. The scarcity of the most strategic component in the AI build-out has created a pricing umbrella, lifting the entire segment out of its commodity past. Pricing power is no longer exclusive to the king. It is now shared among the few qualified suppliers. But this market reordering is being accelerated by a powerful external force, geopolitics. While SK Hynix and Samsung dominate HBM production from their fabs in South Korea, Micron holds a unique strategic position. It is the only major American company capable of producing this critical AI component. This makes Micron not just a commercial supplier, but a strategic asset in the US-China tech rivalry. The company is a direct beneficiary of American industrial policy, with $6 billion in funding under the 2022 CHIPS Act to build out domestic production capacity. The current trade environment provides a further tailwind. The proposed 100% tariff on certain imported chips will not apply to companies manufacturing in the US or those who have committed to do so. This policy landscape effectively positions Micron as the secure, onshore partner for American AI architects like NVIDIA, insulating it from the geopolitical risks faced by its overseas competitors. Micron's success is therefore not just a story of market dynamics, it's also a story of strategic alignment. The company is capitalizing on a powerful convergence of technological demand and geopolitical imperative. So, Micron's revised forecast is more than just a strong quarter. It is a sign that the HBM revolution may have altered the economic structure of the memory industry. The high-margin, supply-constrained market, first created by SK Hynix's leadership, has now established a new pricing dynamic, lifting the entire segment out of the commodity trap. The old rules of scale and market share are being rewritten. In the AI era, strategic importance and technological capability can lift a historically no-moat company to peak cycle profitability. This raises critical forward-looking questions. Is this new high-margin environment sustainable, Or is it a temporary condition driven by HBM scarcity? As Samsung invests to regain its position and SK Hynix works to defend its lead, can Micron leverage its unique geopolitical position to build a more durable competitive advantage? The AI-driven reordering of the memory market has begun, but the long-term industry structure is still being determined. Understanding these underlying power shifts and knowing which signals to watch is how you cut through the headlines to see the real game. To get this kind of strategic breakdown delivered to your inbox every week, check out our newsletter, ARPU, at the link in the description.